Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple hours, along with Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Nick and I are the only ones here this morning. Katie's busy. Gal is working. And Spence is still in Alaska.
Slackers.
Yeah, I know. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by VMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Yeah, we know who's serious about the show.
What can you
But
say?
no,
What can you say?
It's fine. uh, anyhow, yeah, I was telling Nick that the mouse that I use to control a machine that's about 6-7 feet from me died, and I found another. It's Bluetooth, and I found another one on the bench on the shelf at Kensington, but it was so laggy that it was almost unusable. At first, I tried and I actually loaded its own driver. At first, it loaded the Windows driver, but then I said, well, maybe something about its own driver. Nah, it didn't make any difference. It actually said that I have a newer one on the machine. So what I ended up doing is getting a 6-foot or maybe 8-foot, I don't know, 10-foot USB extension. This was working with an USB Bluetooth dongle, and I brought it up to the ceiling and hung it on one of the lights and plugged the dongle in there, and now it's like a wired mouse. Um, if you have a wireless or wireless mouse or keyboard or anything that you're connecting to something that's a little bit far, 6-7 feet I don't consider far, but obviously it depends what's in the way. You can try that. Just a cheap extension, USB extension, and bring it up in the air, and she works. It's actually right now, it's actually farther than what it was when it was plugged into the machine. Yeah. Probably at this point it's 8 feet. Yeah. But that made it work and usable. All right. Anything happened this week, Nick, that you want to talk about off the top? All right away.
Um.
I Yeah.
Did we talk? No, we talked about the Activision Microsoft thing last
Yeah,
week,
but
didn't
things
we?
change, right?
Yeah, there was some updates in that. There's a really good set of interviews. I don't know if it's available online. But the SEC chairwoman. Let me get her name. SEC.
Yeah, Linda or Lena or whatever.
Yeah, Linda Walensky. I think, what is
No,
her name?
Khan.
Yeah, something like that. Let me,
Yeah, doesn't matter.
well, no, it does matter
Oh,
because she's incompetent. Um, damn it. What is the SEC's chairwoman's name? Or no, the FEC, sorry, not the SEC, the FEC chairwoman.
yeah, the
Um,
FTC. That's right.
the FTC, sorry, not the
Yeah,
FTC chairwoman. Lena Khan. Okay, there we
yeah.
go, finally. She is awful. She has continued to use her position as the chair of the Federal Trade Commission to go after business. And she has decided to weaponize the Federal Trade Commission against business. Obviously there is some need, maybe it depends on who you talk to and what the argument is. Um, about the need for what the FTC does, but she is just continuing to bark up trees that she has no business being in. The Federal Trade Commission has gotten their asses handed to them in court by Democrat judges. The judge in the Activision Blizzard situation that we talked about last week was a Biden appointed judge in San Francisco. I mean, so like this is not like, oh, Republican versus Democrat. I think no, this is just a simple brazen attempt to stifle business. And it's just terrible. Um, and she was on CNBC on Wednesday, maybe of last week. Let me see. I was messaging Brian about it. July 19th. What day was that? Yeah, Wednesday. And she got grilled by the CNBC folks, and rightfully so.
I can't
She's
believe
just
that they got her after. I mean, this is not the first time that she's
no,
being.
she's lost like
Yeah,
a couple of massive cases.
yeah.
And it's nuts.
It is ridiculous. I don't know why they're not replacing her.
Well, because there's no accountability. I mean, that's the reality.
Yeah.
Is you would assume that if your Federal Trade Commission chair is attempting to, you know, stonewall business, that you might do something about it.
Right, you would
But they're
think.
not doing anything. She's just chugging along and doing her thing, and she just got absolutely excoriated by the CNBC, which was great. I'm glad that she did. Um, but it's not good. I mean, government's got its role and it should be as limited as possible. And now you've got this organization, which, its goal is to protect consumers. That's what the
Mhm.
Federal Trade Commission is supposed to do. And they're seemingly not looking at that at all and just trying to attack business because they're anti big business, which I'm not pro big business, but I'm also not pro government trying to sue every time a business wants to do some sort of merger or acquisition. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
And
They're
it's
in
what it ends up doing is costing the funny part of it is ends up costing the consumer more, right? Because these companies have to fight these legal battles. It's not
right.
free for them to go to court and defend themselves against the federal government, who has unlimited resources and money is no object. Who do you think that cost rolls down to? You think the CEO of the company is going to take a pay cut? No,
No.
it's rolled down to us.
Yep.
So, or if you're an employee of that company, it gets rolled down to you in regards of not having a pay increase or a salary increase or whatever it might be. So it's really stupid. Um, and I hope she continues because eventually you're right, she will get thrown out. She has to. She's totally incompetent.
I always wanted to see a situation that when anybody sues anybody and it's obviously frivolous or yeah, you shouldn't have done this because you knew that wasn't true, or that there will be consequences that you have to pay all the expenses, not just court costs. Do you know how
You
many
could
lawsuits will?
you could counter
Yeah,
sue for damages.
but again, it costs you money.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that, like you were just saying, a company gets sued and it's costing them and it has to roll and somebody has to pay for it, and it's not the one who sued them. It's they have to come up with the money. So it maybe there's the downside to what I'm thinking, but uh, I think it would prevent a lot of nonsense lawsuits from even going to court. So anyway, so did it the acquisition happen? Because it was supposed to be 3-4 days from last week when we talked about it.
The deadline was Tuesday
Yeah.
for the acquisition to happen. It did not happen
Oh.
because there's still ongoing discussions in the United States and with the CMA over in Great Britain. So they have extended the deal till the middle of October, but Bobby Kotick, who is the essentially one of the like the founder of Activision
Mhm.
and the chairman of Activision, um, he said that they expect to have this thing done in about 90 days or so.
Oh,
I mean, they're pretty much there. There's just a couple of loose ends that need to be tied up with these, again, government trying to block business. But he says about 90 days or so by the end of the summer. Hopefully, hopefully it's all squared away and dealt with and done.
yep. Oh, all right. Listen to this. Millions of U.S. military emails have been misdirected to Mali through a typo leak that has exposed highly sensitive information, including diplomatic documents, tax returns, passwords, and the travel detail of top officers. Despite repeated warnings over a decade, a steady flow of email traffic continues to the .ml domain. That's what, like, what is the address of a military base? It's .mil.
Mhm.
But .ml is the country identifier for Mali. As a result, and this happens as a result of people mistyping .mil, the suffix for all U.S. military email addresses. The problem was first identified almost a decade ago by this Dutch internet entrepreneur who has a contract to manage Mali's country domain. He has been collecting misdirected emails since January, this last January, I guess, in an effort to persuade the U.S. to take the issue seriously. He holds close to 117,000 misdirected messages. There's almost 1,000 arrived on Wednesday alone. In a letter he sent to the U.S. in early July, he wrote, "This risk is real and could be exploited by adversaries of the U.S." If this is such a problem, I don't understand. I mean, back in the day, yeah, everybody wanted to have a three-letter extension. So it'll be standard, like with the com, minute, and org, like in the early days, but also so it'll be short and nice and short. I would say change the extension to US Mill or something like that. That will not be able to go because it's really easy to miss when you type fast. Now, when you reply, it's no problem because the correct address, hopefully the corrector you got it from that mail, will go out. But if you're authoring an email, it's easy to miss a letter. And because it's just I, when you look at it, you can very easily not notice that it's not there, that the I is not there. So why not 10 years? and nobody did anything about it. Nobody ever talked about it. I mean, this is the first I hear about it, and I say, "Yeah, that's interesting." But ridiculous that it's still going on. Hopefully, they will do something. I mean, if I was in the military and somebody sends an email to me, and it instead of coming to me, it's going to another country that can keep it. Wow, big trouble. Who are you using for cell service?
AT&T.
AT&T. I use T-Mobile, and here is interesting thing on this week. T-Mobile has started charging customers who pay phone bills in store a new $5 payment support charge plus tax. According to the mobile report, the new fee went into effect on July 19th, though prepaid customers will be charged the fee later on. It says in a flyer shared with the mobile report announcing the change to its employees, T-Mobile implies the reason behind the fee is to help enable a digital enabled future. Yet, as Droid Life points out, employee time spent processing payments may mean less time for more profitable endeavors like selling phones or add ons to planes. Plus, it's a sneaky way to encourage more customers to sign up for autopay, which conveniently also offers a $5 per line discount if you pay your bill online. And only if you use a debit card. T-Mobile recently withdrew the benefit from customers who pay bills with a credit card. They never let me know that. I mean, they take it. Actually, no, they take it from the bank, so it's not a
Well,
credit card.
well, and
But
there's a big reason for that: payment processing fees.
yeah,
ACH
yeah,
transfers versus a credit card being processed at 2 or 3%. I mean, that's a big thing. Um, that
yeah, it is. But I mean,
It can
T-Mobile
be
by
millions for a company like T-Mobile. You could be talking about millions of dollars a month worth of fees that they're paying out to these credit card companies. If they can get that done via bank transfers, that's millions of dollars that they can generate.
correct, but they're not a discount provider.
They are in comparison to AT&T and Verizon. That's why you switched. Why'd you switch from Verizon?
B Yeah, because it was cheaper, but there are still cheaper ones. I mean, I always
Yeah,
look at that
yeah.
consumer cellular and I said, "God, that would be good enough for me." But nah,
Well, uh, well, the one that I've been in, I'm fine with AT&T. I've got a kind of a unique situation with it, so I'm fine. But if I ever have to leave AT&T, Spectrum, if you have Spectrum home internet, you can get a free line on
yeah,
Spectrum Mobile. Now I'm sure the free comes with some level of stipulation, but is undoubtedly cheaper than having a standalone account with any of the other carriers. Yeah, I mean, Mint Mobile is one though. That's the one that Ryan Reynolds owns. Um, but yeah, I can totally see this. And by the way, who the hell's paying their bill in store?
I don't know.
I
Apparently,
didn't even know
people
you
do.
could do that.
I have no idea, but apparently, some people do. Otherwise, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and again, I can see that also. It's just trying you. This is how you push people to make a change. I'm trying to remember. There's some online thing that I pay. I don't know if it was maybe it's my Duke Energy. Yeah, I think maybe it's my Duke bill, right? If you pay your Duke bill via credit card,
Mhm.
I think they add a fee on top of it. And if you connect a bank account, they don't. And it's like 2.5 or 3%. Maybe it's either them or my trash company. It's one of them that you can pay with both. It gives you the option. but it will note that there's a surcharge, or maybe it's my water company. It's one of those 3 utilities that give you that choice right up front.
Yeah, I do. I pay with a check. And talking about this moving money, the U.S. Federal Reserve has launched a long awaited service which will aim to modernize the country's payment system by eventually allowing everyday Americans to send and receive funds in seconds,
No.
24 hours a day, 7 days
Ba
a week. Huh?
bad, 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 bad.
Well,
This is not good.
the central bank announced on Thursday the FedNow service, which has been in the works since 2019, will seek to eliminate the several day lag it commonly takes cash transfers to settle. I'll bet banks
Hmm.
hate this because banks make a lot of money when you do this, when they keep the money for a day or two before it actually leaves. So,
Hmm. I
but they said,
wonder why. And not more going after cash again. Makes you wonder, Amnon, doesn't it?
well, it always, when there's something in money, it makes you wonder. But they
Yeah,
said that
and
it's bringing the US in line with countries including the UK, India, Brazil, as well as the European Union, where similar services have existed for years. FedNow,
this go ahead. No, go ahead.
FedNow with 41 banks, FedNow is launching with 41 banks and 15 service providers certified to use the service, including community banks and large lenders like JP Morgan, Chase, Bank of New York, Mellon, and U.S. Bancorp. But the Fed plans to onboard more banks and credit unions this year. Um, it's probably going to be an uphill battle to get banks in. But what do the banks do? I mean, the banks may think, well, if we don't join this, then some of our bigger customers that move a lot of money will go to another bank that does. So it's they're in between a rock and a hard place.
This is a terrible system. This Fed now,
Anything the Fed.
this system is the this system is the so there's already this thing going on. It's happened the last couple of years with payment processors shutting people down.
Yeah,
They if you're no longer able to do credit card transactions, well, that makes it pretty damn near impossible to sell a good or service or product, right? I mean,
right.
it's how most people pay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the exact same thing with this Fed now, except it will be being done by the federal government. They will be able to shut people off of the FedNow network because they are the ones that control it because you're a this or that or you disagree with what we say. So that's what's going to be going on. This is a disaster.
Well, they're doing it.
Oh yeah, they absolutely are. This weaponized cash don't allow people to transact money without using a credit card company that the government practically owns or the federal now system, which the government does literally own. So
No.
So yeah, that's what's coming. Coming soon to a bank near you. Can't wait to not be able to use any money. It's going to be great for me.
Now, let me ask you something. Um, and I know somebody talked about it once. Um, we're selling something, and I listed it on Facebook Marketplace,
Oh, okay.
and got a bunch of hits. And one of
Mhm.
them said, "I'd like it, but I'd like to send you a code to make sure you're real."
Yep. Mhm.
And I just ignored it because it rang a bell, kind of like, "Hey, there's something wrong here," but I can't put my finger on it. You know what that scam or
Yeah. Yeah, these are all they're trying to trying to get you to they're trying to fish information from you.
Okay.
They'll get you
Yeah.
to they'll email you a code, and then it'll be a like a fake bank or some verify identity website or something, and they're trying to steal your info.
Alright. Yeah.
It's a very good scam,
Obviously.
but it's becoming so prevalent that it's not working anymore. Right? It's like you put something up on Facebook, you get 5 messages of people saying that essentially the same thing. You're like,
Yep.
well, obviously this is a scam.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
This
it's
The fraudsters are frauding themselves, literally.
but it's interesting the way that it works. And do you remember Kevin Mitnick?
Yeah, of course.
Once the so-called most wanted computer criminal in US history.
Mm-hmm. Was
He
that back in the 80s, right?
90s.
Or 90s, early 90s, maybe?
He died last Sunday.
Oh, God.
He was 59. The New York Times adds that the cause was complication from pancreatic cancer. He had been undergoing treatment at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Um, After serving prison time for breaking into and tampering with corporate computer network, he was released in 2000 and began a new career as a security consultant. He used. I remember we had the author that wrote the book, like his biography or whatever, on the show. The early days, and there was something about triangulating cell signals or whatever to break in. He was for the time, or back then, he was a genius. The way that he figured how to do this. But yep, his history in more than one way. Kevin Mitnick.
He lived in Raleigh. I didn't realize
He
that.
did it in Raleigh. The
Yeah.
the the thing happened in Raleigh. Yeah.
Yeah. He was arrested
Yep.
95 at his apartment in Raleigh.
Yep.
But he
S-
started I didn't realize he started a lot younger. In the
Yeah.
late 70s when he started some of his stuff. It was kind of a war game. I
Yeah.
watched something about him. It was essentially war games was
Yeah.
what originally he was doing. Got a phone number he shouldn't have had and was able to hip hoppity into some networks he wasn't supposed to have access to.
Right. And back then, security was on nobody's mind.
No. The phone number and a base security code was all that you needed
Yep.
to get into anything.
Anywho, let's talk Netflix. I'm surprised. So Netflix is bringing password sharing crackdown to consumers in India and every other market starting. It started last week. They said after a limited rollout of the restriction, helped the firm sign up nearly 6 million subscribers in the quarter ending in June. This is not what we thought was going to happen. This is That's amazes me. The streaming giant said it will start to address account sharing between households in almost all of its remaining countries started last Thursday. Netflix, which once supported the practice of account password sharing, now find it posing complex challenges to its business prospects. Instead of people dropping 6 million subscribers now, it may be that a lot of people dropped and they're not counting this, but they're saying that added, they signed up. 6 million people signed up. It doesn't say how many people canceled. uh, that's amazing. I mean, you read this and you said, "Boy, they were smart. Yep, they
Well,
should have done it a
uh,
long time ago."
they probably didn't get a lot of cancellations. They got a lot of signups because people had no choice but to make new accounts.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you saying it like no choice, like this is a matter of life and death. No, I mean, people wanted to do
I'm
it.
sorry. I
Yeah,
mean, no choice because they were locked out of their old account. I mean, if
yeah,
you wanted to continue watching Netflix, you had no choice but to
right.
sign up for a new account.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
So that's not surprising to see that they got that many new signups.
I don't know. I was hoping to see, not hoping, but envisioning, saying, "Oh yeah, we lost 3, 4 million," because we were talking about how many they were losing anyway, with their price increase before, like months for the last few months. We say, "Oh, they lost that many, and then they lost that many, and then they lost that
But
many."
there's no reason that adding password sharing would cost them to lose accounts. It would only cause them to gain because there's more people that will want to subscribe because their previous way of accessing. I mean, it's like
That's a good point.
here's
That's a
an analogy for you. When cable companies started putting uh encryption on cable, and you could no longer just use a regular box or a
right.
scrambler to
Yeah,
to get access, the installs and the amount of cable subscribers went up because people still wanted the
yeah,
content.
that's a good
So they
point.
had to they had to buy it. They had to pay for it. They didn't have a choice anymore. Previously, you had a choice. You could find a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a you know
Yeah,
colleague or whatever, some sort of relative or friend that would give you access to their Netflix account, and you were good to go. But
yeah,
now that's gone. So you either A, don't watch the content, or B, sign up for an account, or three, pirate. Um, which you're gonna, pirating has been on a huge uptick in recent years, um, just because of all of the fragmentation of content and the constant on again, off again, what's available, what's not, where can I watch this show, where can I watch that show, this new season is coming out when, this, that. It's just they're seeing lot more I think you're seeing a huge increase in television and movie piracy, which Netflix cut down on and a vast majority of when they first came out.
yep.
Because you could pirate, which is a pain in the ass, or you could pay was $6.99 a month originally or something like that for Netflix streaming. It was
I don't
very
know.
inexpensive and get access to this. Oh my gosh, look at this collection.
Yeah,
That's all gone. So, or I mean, it's not all gone. It's twice the price, and half the content you want to watch is on something else or spread across a bunch of other services. So, unlike music, where they figured it out because none of the music streaming services are making music; they're all just paying BMI and ASCAP royalties.
right.
There's no fragmentation. I mean, if there's a song on Spotify, the song's on Apple Music, the song's on Pandora, the song's everywhere else. It's Amazon Music. Content's not like that because well, they're making their own content, and then they're paying exorbitant license fees for other content for shows like Netflix and Friends and all that.
And talking about music, somebody else is getting into it. Now they have Plex Amp, the music
Yeah,
player originally incubated by the lab division of media company Plex, is now free. The company announced last week. The project was first launched in 2017 as Plex's own spin on the classic Winamp media player app, offering visualizations to accompany your tune, tools for programming mixes, and more. Recently, a ChatGPT powered Sonic Sage feature that builds unique playlists from users' music libraries. However, after the expansion from desktop to mobile, FlexAmp was only available to subscribers. Now, Flex says the FlexAmp app will become free, allowing users to play tracks from their own library or the Tidal music streaming service with high quality audio and support for lossless audio. The app also includes gapless playback, loudness leveling, and smooth transitions between tracks, among other things. In addition to library radio, a feature used to rediscover your music, users can create playlists with FlexAmp to match their current mood, like brooding, cathartic, confident, intense, playful, and so forth. So Plex now has a player that anybody can use, apparently.
Well, they've had a
And
player for a while.
yeah, I mean,
The
go
the
ahead.
thing is with it, it's not a stream, it's a your streaming service. You have to have all of this music, which most people don't have.
Or the Tidal, um, Tidal, TIDAL music streaming service.
Yeah, or pay for whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if you'll be able to do the same thing as you do with Plex, with getting other people's libraries and get them on your player, like you can do with movies. It's interesting.
Let's see. How much is Title? Title is free for something.
And it's probably
Uh,
the same music that you find
It's
anywhere
100
else.
million songs.
Oh,
It's $10 a month for hi-fi. That's their plan. It's called free hi-fi and hi-fi plus. The free's ad supported. Um, yeah, I mean, this is a really hard place for Plex to break. Now, if you have a large flat collection or something, I mean, that's probably great. But if you don't already have a large music collection on your own server, there's probably not a big point in this.
yeah. Well, it's the same thing with Plex video. I mean, you don't have to have any kind of collection. You can use it.
Well, no, but it's also a little bit like, for example, you can go out and buy a Blu-ray of The Sopranos, right? You get an entire
Yeah,
Blu-ray, 9 seasons for, 30 bucks, and you go and you rip the Blu-ray, and now you've got 9 seasons of content. It's a whole hell of a lot harder to do that with music. You buy
true.
a CD,
Yeah,
it's got what, not 8 songs on it? Um,
yeah,
or you're buying them online. It's very expensive. The cost to price ratio, television versus or TV and movies versus music,
music.
is
Yeah,
not always the case. And you get into the bigger ratios on older things. Like I'm sure you can go out and buy a copy of Friends or The Office or some of these shows that have 9, 10, 11, 12 seasons, and you can probably buy that for 40 or 50 bucks. And boom, now it's there. And now you just have to rip it and store it.
yeah.
Music, not so much. And I'm looking at it right now. I just logged into it. Um, my title. Um, I guess you have to link it together, but interesting.
Yeah. So, are you using Threads?
No, and apparently nobody else is either.
Despite being the fastest growing online platform in history, Meta's Threads is struggling to retain regular customer engagement. According to SimilarWeb, the Twitter rival saw daily active users decline from 49 million on July 7th to 23.6 on July 14th. In 1 week, they dropped about 50%. Furthermore, usage in the United States declined from 21 minutes per day to just over 6 minutes in the same time period. Yeah, it was a big deal to sign up and all that, but if the material is not there, why would people be there?
Well, let's
Twitter,
be honest.
yeah,
Their original user statistics were incredibly disingenuous. They were accurate, but everybody was just signing up for a free account because all you had to do was download the Threads app, clicked click create account, and as long as you already had an Instagram, as long as you already have an Instagram account and it was on your phone, it automatically created.
yeah,
So everybody just created an account because they did, and nobody ever used it. So it's down. What you said, it was down 50. That's earlier in the week. It's down over 75 now.
yeah. That was July
Yeah, let me
14th. Yeah,
because I think I retweeted something about this. Pull up my illustrious Twitter account and see what I see. Um, yeah, down 75% in terms of user accounts, or not user accounts, but user activity in less than 2.5 weeks.
that's bad.
It's not bad.
Yes.
It's not. When you essentially have when your account creation consists of you just clicking a single button to log in with your Instagram account,
Okay.
that's exactly what I would expect. No username, no password, literally, and not even any description. It pulled in your picture, your bio, and your followers from Instagram. There was no barrier to entry at all. Zero.
Oh, oh, so
I
you
mean,
didn't?
nothing. Literally, I mean, you opened the app, and as long as you already had Instagram on your phone, you clicked create account, and it was just done. You click next, 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 or skip, 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 and then it was done.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware
So,
of that. That's interesting
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Well, and that's how they were able to get 90 million users in the first week or whatever ridiculous number that it was, or in the first day or whatever, because that's what they did.
Yeah, but it created a lot of hype.
Yeah.
The
For
fact that they were growing so fast as they were putting it.
That's why I'm saying it was a little the number was very disingenuous.
Oh. Hmm.
You just you it's not a fair comparison to people creating an account elsewhere. Like when you go to Twitter, you have to create an account. When you go to Instagram, well, it's different now with Facebook, but you have to create an account.
Yeah.
You didn't really have to create an account on Threads.
Okay. That explains it then. Okay.
Yeah. And that's also why you're seeing that's why these user decline numbers are so massive, because everybody just signed up and then left.
Yeah, and there was that report that if you want to cancel it, you lose your. You have to cancel your Instagram, and that's kind of like a deterrent for a lot of people. Well, I'm not. I'm just gonna leave it there, and because I don't want to lose my Instagram.
It's it's
Uh,
been funny to see. I take a lot of joy in watching all of the anti-Twitter people that talked about how Threads was the Twitter killer,
yeah.
and all these same jackasses are now immediately back on Twitter 2 weeks later with their same anti Elon Musk, anti Twitter bullshit. It's just hilarious. It's just so funny to watch these people manufacture this stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is
Well, there
why.
was a huge WhatsApp outage this week. Do you have that in your notes?
No,
Let me see if I can find
I
any
didn't
details on it. It happened
really.
earlier this week. Yeah, Wednesday. Um, WhatsApp had a quote major global disruption early on Wednesday. Um, the outage started around 1:15 p.m. Pacific time, so a little after 4 o'clock here on the East Coast, and it lasted about 40 to 50 minutes.
Wow.
Um, so huge outage, and that's WhatsApp is Facebook.
Yeah.
Meta. So a lot of folks were on the opposite side were chiming in oh, I'm glad Threads is working out so well that WhatsApp is down for 2 billion users worldwide or whatever.
Interesting. Nope, I didn't. I don't use it that much, so I did not know it. All right, Nick, you ready for specials?
I am ready for specials. So electric cars are all the rage. Government's going to force you to buy one or later. Thought this picture was pretty funny. This is a electric charging station somewhere, presumably out at a um, shopping center or something like that. This is not one that you'd have in your home, obviously. And you can see that this individual is, I think, attempting to charge, or maybe the charge is over. It's kind of hard to tell with what exactly is on the display. But funny enough, what is it running, Amnon? What kind of error message is that on the screen?
I don't know, close program
Yeah, but
to
what kind of operating system would this thing be run?
oh, it says Microsoft Windows.
Microsoft Windows
Yeah,
running on a charging station, which I find to be bizarre. I don't know why this would not be a Linux thing, but running Microsoft Windows. So not only is it impractical to own an electric car for most people, charging it is not going to happen because of Bill Gates. So let's get into specials. I had a very similar product in here last week. I had a 15.6-inch Chromebook that was on sale for $299, which is still, around 200 bucks still, or maybe it was 199. Yeah, I think it was 199. Still a decent amount of money. But here's a smaller one. This is essentially the same thing, just a smaller screen. This is an HP 14-inch Chromebook, and the spec difference is it's running a slower processor. It's got half the memory at only 4 gigs, but it still has that 64 gigabyte eMMC drive. $149, save 50%. This is available at Best Buy, but only for the next 15 hours. So this is going to go out of sale here very quickly, and it'll go back to its regular price of $299. So if you're in the ballpark for an education machine for a child, this is probably the best deal you'll find at 149, available at Best Buy. You can pick it up in store or get it shipped. I could pick up one today in 2 hours at the Walmart or at the Best Buy here in Wilmington. So you could pick it up today if that tickles your
Hmm,
fancy. Available over at Best Buy. Next up, Philips. They've got a 65-inch Roku smart television that is available over at Walmart. And in terms of the ports on the device, it's only got 3 HDMI ports. One of them does support eARC, and because it does have the Roku built in, maybe having 3 ports is fine since you don't have to worry about using one up on your smart television device, your Roku, your Apple TV, or whatever. It's built in. It's also got an Ethernet jack, Toslink optical audio. It supports composite input, so you can still connect an old retro video game console or a VCR or an old DVD player every once in a while. Plus, it's got a headphone jack and a USB port. It is available for $298, available at Walmart. Unfortunately, you can only pick this up in store, so availability is going to be your biggest problem, and that's
hmm.
available again over at Walmart. I have a speaker similar to this one. It's not the same model, but it is, and I love this speaker. The JBL Flip and Charge series of speakers, I will say, are the best portable speakers that you can buy. I have a JBL Charge 5, which is a little bit bigger. This thing goes to the beach, it goes to the pool, it gets thrown in the sand, it gets thrown in the back of pickup trucks and cars. These things are freaking tanks. They've got phenomenal battery life. They're waterproof, not water resistant, waterproof. Now I don't take it in the water with me. I'm not that ballsy. But you can, I mean, it's built where you can pretty much abuse it as much as you want, besides, literally crushing it, and it should work fine. So Costco's got the JBL Flip 5 on sale. It supports and boasts 12 hours of battery life, IPX7 waterproof, which I think means you can take it down to like 9 feet underwater, some egregious amount of water pressure. Um, and it's $20 off, $59. It's normally 79, and that's available over at Costco. The nice thing about this one versus the one that I have is it's a little bit smaller. It's a flip. It's still a decent sized speaker, but the JBL Charge is pretty bulky and pretty heavy. So if you're going to do a little bit more portable with it, like carry it around in a backpack or a work bag every day, you're probably better off with the flip than the Charge. But maybe that's still too much for you. You need something just tiny for next to the shower or out on the back patio or something like that. And you don't want to go crazy with a $60 speaker. Here's this little guy, and this might be even better for portability. This is the JBL Go Bluetooth portable waterproof speaker. I mean, look at this one, Amnon. IPX7 water resistance as well. Now, obviously, with a smaller size, it means not as loud, but the biggest thing is battery life. I mean, what's taking up a vast majority of these
Hmm.
speakers is the battery. So the JBL Charge is so freaking heavy because I charge it like 8 times a year or something. I barely ever have to charge it. This one is a little bit smaller, obviously, but it's got a waterproof design. It boasts 5 hours of Bluetooth playtime. Plus, this one also has a speaker built into it, or excuse me, a microphone built into it, so you can actually use it as a wireless speaker, like in your car, and use it as a Bluetooth device. The other ones are just speakers. You can't obviously take a phone call without a microphone. This is on sale for $19.88, available over at Walmart in this green shade and in a black. The other colors are unfortunately sold out. So
So,
check that
so
out
I can
over
buy
at
one of
Walmart.
these and put it in 2 inch of water. Just let it float on top of the water
I bet you this thing does float.
in the pond and play music for the fish and the turtles, huh?
Yeah. So IPX7 waterproof
Eesh.
means that it can withstand being submerged in 1 meter of water for 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's 3 feet.
So 3 feet of water for half an hour
Yeah.
is what it's rated for. Now, obviously, these things probably would survive longer than that, but that is the
Hmm,
rating.
interesting.
That's the rating that they have to go
Yeah.
through. So it's the nice thing
It's
about these things is you can have them next to like, a shower, have them out at the pool, and if it
right.
gets bounced in or kicked in or whatever, it's not going to immediately die. And because they're built with this IP7 waterproof, um, like when I take mine to the beach, the sand doesn't get all stuck into the ports because everything is behind rubber grommets so that water doesn't get in. So when I get home from the beach, I just run it under the sink, take a paper towel to it, and it's good to go. I don't have to worry about it getting all gross. And the buttons are soft touch, so there's no sand that can get in those to break. They're just really nice. Even if you're not going to be submersing it, you don't have to worry
Mhm.
about it getting all corroded and nasty. All right, Amnon, how about this? This is a pretty cool,
This
neat little
is
device. These things have existed for years, but this one is pretty cool, and it's got a damn good price on it. There's been an upward trend, and I think Spence might actually do this, or maybe he had in the past, is bringing your own wireless router when you are traveling. And there's a couple of reasons you might do this. Sometimes Wi-Fi in hotels and places kind of sucks. Um, sometimes sometimes what you're trying to do, you don't want to be doing on a public network. Maybe you're downloading some content, perhaps, or streaming some content that might not be legally above board. So you want a way where you can monitor a little bit more of your traffic and have some more control. So this next device is the Barrel AX 3000 Wi-Fi 6 travel router. And this does a couple of different things. So it's got two WAN ports on it. One of them is a 1 gigabit WAN port. The other is a 2.5 gig port. So you can connect 2.5 gig networking to this thing. But the really cool thing that I noted on this was that you can have this act as a wireless repeater. So you can also connect this via Wi-Fi to like a hotel Wi-Fi network and then have it rebroadcast your own network. So you connect the device to the hotel Wi-Fi, get past the
Mhm.
paywall page, the connect one device, and then have this rebroadcast its own connection. The other cool thing is it's got a USB port on it where you can plug in a wireless modem. So if you have a little USB um, 4G or 5G chip, like you plug into your laptop, you can do the same thing with this. Could be good for coffee shops, could be good at, again, traveling at hotels or things of that nature. It also supports cellular tethering via USB-C. So you could literally plug your phone into it and use it as a hotspot and rebroadcast. And it's on sale for $87.
And
This is a
judge
really powerful device. It's got OpenVPN built right into it, so you can connect back to your house's VPN connection and keep all of your network activity a little bit more private. Pretty neat device, a lot of cool power on it, and 32% off. It's actually $78, available over at GLINet, which sells a whole bunch of these kind of wireless and network style devices.
and it's really
For
tiny, judging from the size of the Ethernet ports and the USB.
Well, it's
It's
right in the read the name of it.
pocket sized. Yeah.
Pocket size, yeah. It's meant to be thrown in a backpack or a
Mm,
suitcase and not take up a whole
yeah.
bunch of room. And it's powered by USB-C. So
Mm.
you can plug it right into a laptop or something like that. Pretty neat device. Check it out. I didn't know Amazon made these. I guess I should have. Did you know that they made their own smart outlets, Amnon? Like ones that you actually put into your wall?
You mean wired?
Yeah, this is an outlet. What you're looking at is not a faceplate; it's a full smart outlet. Now we know that they sell the plugs that you plug into a regular outlet, but this is the full um, in-wall outlet. It's Amazon Basic. It is two individually controllable outlets, a top and bottom. You can control it via Amazon A Word only. It only supports 2.5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so it's not Z-Wave or anything else. And it's also got two buttons on it where you can control each individual outlet by just tapping the button in the middle. Normally $21. It's on sale for $14. Save $35, and that's available over at obviously available over at Amazon. So, but you
No,
will
I
have to
didn't know.
replace your physical outlet.
Yeah.
So if you're not capable or competent doing that, um, then just buy a regular one that you plug in. But if you're more than capable, um, that's what you should do. So check that out. Available over at Amazon. Let's see, what do we have next? Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know how this thing is so cheap. This is a really nice looking speaker system. I might be going and purchasing this today. This is a Samsung 5.1 channel wireless speaker system. It's got a 40-inch soundbar. It supports Dolby Digital 5.1. It's got a sub and two rear speakers, and it's $149. I don't know how this is so cheap. Even the Hisense speakers are not this cheap. But you plug in the thing in the middle of the obviously the thing in the middle of the picture is the sub. The thing to the right of it that looks like a wireless router is the essentially the hub for the wireless speaker system. So you get a 40-inch soundbar, again, sub, and two rear fire speakers, all wireless. Obviously, you have to plug them into power. I mean, wireless in terms of you don't have to run speaker wire to them,
Mhm.
and you can do all of that for $149. Um, this is a hell of a deal for a Dolby 5.1 speaker system.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, definitely
a good sound bar will cost you about that.
a good soundbar. You can spend 600. Bose
Yeah.
sells like $600 sound bars. So yeah, this is a hell of a deal. I I will admit I don't know anything about it. I didn't read any reviews, but it's a really good deal for $149 available over at
Mm.
Costco. Two final things before we get out of here this morning. The first is from Coofly, Coofly, and this is one of their solar generators that they call them. It's a power station. You've seen these things; they've become more prevalent in the last year and a half or so. This is a a 1020 watt 21 watt hour device. It's essentially just a big battery. But you can take this thing on the go. It's a lot better than using um, or excuse me, it's a lot more versatile than using traditional power brick or bank that does not have 120-volt outlets, doesn't really support a lot of amperage. These things do. There's a variety of way to charge them, including solar panels, cigarette lighters, regular AC power. You can do a lot of cool things with these. This is normally $600. It's on sale on their website for $499. But if you click the link in the specials, there's a special $200 off promo code called Summer, and you can get the price down to $299 if you do it by the end of the month. So that's available over at cooflypower.com. But make sure you click the link in the specials at the computers2know.com website.
Hmm.
When was the last time we had just a regular computer monitor in specials? I couldn't tell you. But maybe every once in a while you're in the market for one. So here's a pretty box standard one. This is an Acer 24-inch full HD monitor, 1920 by 1080. The cool thing about this is it supports 100 hertz refresh rate, which is pretty nice to see. Um, Great. Just a regular monitor, supports AMD FreeSync. In terms of port and connectivity, it has got a HDMI and DisplayPort as its two different ways to connect to it. It's normally $95 and it is on sale for $79.99. Save 15 bucks, and that is available over at the illustrious Costco wholesale. And that is specials.
Very nice, Nick. Thank you very much.
Alan, I think, is saying he bought the router. Trying to looking at what he yeah, I just bought mine. Mine is the step down from the 1300. I think that's what he's talking about. Um, he says I plugged my hotspot enabled flip phone into the USB and it rocks. My other experiment is the Grandstream SIP adapter that allows one to use a rotary dial phone over a VoIP line. Yeah, the Grandstream SIP adapter is a really nice device. We have a that's what we actually use at work. They're enterprise units for our voice over IP systems, which feed traditional POTS devices. But yeah, it's a cool. That router is a really neat little thing. I wish I traveled more and had a use for it, but um, it's hard to justify $80 for something you probably won't ever use. So the
Rotary.
travel router will allow you to hook up your devices and have one MAC ID at the hotel's Wi-Fi system. Exactly. So some of these hotels will charge you per device, or you get one device or two devices. This thing kind of gets rid of all of that. Now the problem is it only works in your room. Um, you know, the nice thing about a hotel Wi-Fi is you can take it from the 12th floor all the way down to the lobby and all that other stuff. But especially if you're bringing or wanting to, connect Roku's and things like that, as Alan notes, it's a pretty good device to do that.
Hmm.
Check it out. Got to go get a refill of my coffee, Amnon. So I will
Yeah.
be
Go
back
ahead.
here in just.
Yeah,
I'll be
absolutely.
back in a jiffy, as they
Yeah.
say.
Jiffy. Jiffy. I'll be back in a jiffy. All right. Um, we were talking about Office 365 and how Microsoft has added Copilot, which is AI helper to Microsoft 365. So at the Microsoft Inspire partner event last week, the Windows Maker announced pricing for its AI infused Copilot for Windows 365. So it's not free. Just added to Microsoft 365, it's costing money. The suite of contextual artificial intelligence tools, the fruit of the company's OpenAI partnership, will cost $30 per user for business accounts each month. So if you want Copilot with the Office 365, which already costs you what, Nick? About $15, something like
It
that?
depends. It
Yeah,
depends on
okay.
what you have. It can be as low as like $9 a month, and it can be as expensive as 30 depending on if you
Okay.
have, power tools and all the different they offer so many different tiers of
So if you
perks.
wanted that AI helper,
Mhm.
$30 extra.
Okay. So ChatGPT costs 20. And the nice thing about this one is it's updated and it's something that you're paying for. Um,
Yeah.
and it's built into the Microsoft suite. You've already got access to it. Um, Seems like if you're a business that's embracing AI, it's a whole hell of a lot easier to manage using the one that's built into the Microsoft
Oh, yeah.
ecosystem than having to pay $20 chat GPT subscriptions or some other subscription. You got to pay for things. I mean, that's what it
Yeah.
comes down to.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an egregious price. And who knows? Maybe they bring it down to 19 or 25 or something like that over time. Who knows?
And it says that in addition, the company is launching Bing Chat Enterprise,
Okay.
a privacy focused version of the AI chatbot with greater security and peace of mind for handling sensitive business data. Revealed in March, Microsoft 365 Copilot is the company's vision of the future of work. The GPT-4 powered suite of tools lets you generate office content using natural language text prompts. If, you know, like Nick says, if you need it for business and you're focused on AI, absolutely. I'm wondering when the day is going to come when all those workstations and the cubicles will not have people there, but just
But
PCs
they won't.
with
That
AI.
is that is very, 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 very far away.
Yeah. Yep. Still going to take people to do this stuff. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Oh. Oh, the hack of Microsoft Cloud that resulted in the compromise of government emails was an example of a traditional espionage threat, a senior National Security Agency official said. Speaking at the Aspen Security Forum, Rob Joyce, the director of cybersecurity at the NSA, said the United States needed to protect its networks from such espionage, but that adversaries would continue to try to secretly extract information from each other. It is China doing espionage, Mr. Joyce said. It is what nation states do. We have to defend against it. We need to push back against it. But that is something that happens. The hackers took emails from senior State Department officials, including Nicholas Burns, the U.S. ambassador to China. The theft of Mr. Burns' emails was earlier reported by the Wall Street Journal and confirmed by a person familiar with the matter. The Assistant Secretary of State for East Asia also had his email hacked, a U.S. official said. The email of Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo were also obtained in the hack, which was discovered in June by State Department cybersecurity experts, scouring user logs for unusual activity. Microsoft later determined that Chinese hackers had obtained access to email accounts a month earlier. When I was reading this story, I was thinking to myself, dang, they actually broke into their email on Microsoft.
This is the story from last week
Yeah,
about that they were able to use forged security certificates,
right.
right?
But I'm thinking, Wow. Yeah, it's very easy to do because you're using IMAP and all your emails are sitting on in the cloud over there.
That's all, and that's all. I don't even think Microsoft supports POP. I hope nobody should.
They do. I
No,
mean,
you.
but
I know you
POP
do, but nobody should support POP.
but POP, it seems in this case is more secured because
POP,
if you wanted to break into somebody, you have to go and break into his computer.
yeah, but POP is ever more impractical
Oh yeah, no, I'm not
in
talking about
modern
impracticality,
times.
but it's just like the old days when you had that. What was that phone that were given to people that they wanted them to be secured? I mean, it wasn't the
J- Talk about the jitterbug.
no jitterbug is for seniors.
Well, you're
No,
talking. There's a couple that you're talking about the phone where you can only dial like six numbers or whatever.
you can only use it for work, kind of,
No, I don't know. I
and
have no
and
idea.
it was the government was using it a lot. So yeah,
BlackBerry.
it wasn't the latest. What?
BlackBerry.
BlackBerry,
Oh,
but it was a modified BlackBerry. It
oh
was
yes.
made so it will not be as vulnerable as the BlackBerry. And I guess they used it because it was easy to modify or do whatever you needed to do to it. But the point here is that it wasn't as practical as the smartphones that were out there at the time. So yeah, pop. I mean, I would say that if somebody's wants to keep their mail more secured, that pop will do a better job because it's not sitting out there where it's going to be uh, attacked a lot. I mean, again, they don't go after your passwords on your computer. They will go on to a password vault so they can get a whole bunch of other people too. That's my point. And yes,
Yeah. I mean, technically, but I just don't know that. I just don't know that POP is practical for almost anybody.
well,
I mean, if you have a smartphone, you can't use POP. It's just not an option.
yes, you can. I'm using.
How?
I'm using a Microsoft. I mean Microsoft, Motorola. What is it? I mean, it's a 3-year-old phone.
Yeah, but I'm saying in terms of the in terms of the use,
Yeah.
depending on how you have your setup, then
Right
when the
now, you see,
mail
that's it.
gets mail gets downloaded
Yeah.
on your desktop, it's going to
Okay.
get kicked off the server, and the next time your phone goes to pull, there's nothing there. You don't
Well,
have your email.
right. So I've got like a lot of our customers want to have that ability to use the phone and get it
Sure.
on their machine too. So the phone never deletes. The phone leaves it on the server. You can go in and say, I want you to keep the mail on a copy of the mail on the server for so many days.
So then it's IMAP.
So it's not IMAP. It's pop,
But
but it doesn't delete it from
then it's IMAP. But the
well,
mail's still sitting on the server. So it's not as it's just as insecure unless you hit that window where it's being
right. I
deleted.
mean, right. If in that window, yeah.
So I mean, it's
And
the same thing.
most people
I
have
mean, yeah,
it for 1 or 2 days, and that's it.
sure.
So just so if they travel and they come to the office and they check mail, boom, it empties it. Um,
Yeah,
but and
I don't know.
actually, I have one customer that actually wanted the other way around. They wanted the phone to clean it up. They say,
Yes,
I mean,
that's how I would have it set up because your computer's always going to be checking. So you don't ever want your computer to delete, but your phone can delete because it's going to be guaranteed that it's already on the computer.
yeah, yeah. So it's just, I guess it's whatever. I still prefer pop. I don't know why. I never. I mean, I tried IMAP and I tried IMAP. Nah, that didn't work. And sorry, this is asking something. here.
We said it didn't work.
It just not that it didn't work. No, I didn't mean it didn't work for me. I mean, I just couldn't get used to it.
But in a mail client, there it's no different.
I don't remember what it was, but there were because
The reality is
Ron
too.
was trying to talk me into it too.
Well, here's the reality. A vast majority of people now are not even now. Obviously, we're talking about business and stuff, sure, but like a vast majority of people are using webmail. Like I have client on my desktop, and that's how I access my email when I'm here. But on my laptop, I don't have a mail client. I just use Gmail or Zoho as I use their webmail. There's no reason for me to have a client on my laptop. It's a pain in the ass.
Well,
So, and more and more people are using webmail because
yeah,
Gmail's web interface is phenomenal. And so is Zoho's. I use both, and so is Office 365s. I don't have Outlook. I don't use it. I only access my work email through the web because I'm not licensed for it, and I have no reason to use it. I have a copy of Outlook on this computer. I have a full
yeah, but you
copy
don't.
of
Yeah.
Office, but I have no reason to use it.
Well,
But yes, that is an issue, and what some people have, and that you can do this based on your you can set a rule. Some places have a rule where unless you tag a piece of mail as archived, after 90 days it deletes it. It's an audit policy to
hmm.
clean up that stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember in the early days we did not offer IMAP because of the space.
That's a serious problem.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Sarid was asking me if there is a delay between the picture and the audio. I don't see it on my machine here, Sarid. You may try and shut down your browser and open it again, or switch to another.
I just tried Twitch. There's no delay.
Yeah. Um, I'm wondering if he's listening to the no, but no. So not that I know of. She's working okay here. Are the no the captions are no longer there. I guess it restarted sometime. All right. The Cyber Police Department of the National Police of Ukraine dismantled another massive bot farm, seizing computer equipment, mobile phones, and roughly 150,000 SIM cards of multiple mobile operators. This is coming from Bleeping Computer. The bots were used to push Russian propaganda justifying Russia's war in Ukraine, to disseminate illegal content and personal information, and in various other fraudulent activities. In a joint operation, the cyber police and units of the Ukraine National Police executed 21 search operations in 3 cities. It's interesting to see that they have time to do that.
Precisely my point. How is that possible? I thought the whole country was being
Yeah,
decimated by Russia
yeah,
24/7. How the hell does their cyber police division
yeah.
have time to be doing this?
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Good God. And what a farce.
Well. All right, Nick. Things about the government doing.
I love the government, Amnon.
So the IRS plan to test drive a new electronic pre-file tax return system next year has got supporters and critics of the idea mobilizing to sway the public and Congress over whether the government should set up a permanent program to help people file their taxes without needing to pay somebody else to figure out what they owe. I'm sure the FTC had will agree with the government here. On the other, tax preparation firms like Intuit, the parent company of TurboTax, and H&R Block have been pouring millions into trying to stop the idea cold. The advocacy groups are exponentially out money.
I actually have a picture of this system. Have you seen this thing yet?
No, their
So this is
system, they,
yeah, well, the system that they're gonna be implementing. Um, how do I get this up? Yeah, here is their new system that the IRS is using to do their e-file system, Amnon. It's very modern, and, it will work for generations to come.
oh, is that where you got it from? From the same place on Facebook memes?
No, this was a YouTube search for, this is a that's the IBM 1401 mainframe data processing system from 1961.
Oh boy. I mean,
Now
come
this
give me a break.
how the hell have they not been able to do this already? It's freaking 2023.
Yeah. They, they should, in my opinion, they shouldn't be.
TurboTax has
They,
existed for like 20 years.
yep. They should not get into this. This is not something that we want the government to do. Um, it's unless you have full-time cybersecurity people there just for that.
Oh, they do,
Ah, no, they don't.
but it's just this oh, I don't know. I have zero faith in the IRS. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's
IRS
the point.
still the IRS is still running. Like I play that video as a joke,
Yeah.
but there is still a vast majority of IRS tax records that are sitting on magnetic tape.
Well,
And those are now obviously those are older, but they were running. I mean, was it the IRS a couple of years ago that had a huge issue with trying to hire cobalt operators because they were still running some they're still running some very important systems on
I don't
cobalt.
remember.
I'm almost positive it was them. Their infrastructure is so freaking out of date. And it's the largest revenue generator for the entire federal government. I mean, it's the
Right.
only way they generate revenue.
Yeah.
Case in point, the Internal Revenue Service.
Yeah.
So I'll continue using. I think I might actually be switching from TurboTax this year. It's become way too expensive. The whole like free file commercials are a freaking joke. None of it is free.
It's not right.
It's like $80. It was like $112 for me to file my taxes last year, state and federal. I have a
I
simple tax return.
I would really recommend calling a local firm, and even if they're not CPAs, if they're just bookkeepers, that they do tax returns, and find out how much it's going to cost. Because
I did that originally, and it was over $100. So it didn't make any
I'll try again.
sizable
Try again.
difference. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
lot easier for me to download and
Yeah.
upload the information than
Sure.
it's going to be for me to print it all out and bring it to somebody.
Yeah.
But there's other services. There's tax tax slayer. H&R Block offers an online service that's equivalent to TurboTax. There are alternatives. Um, so
Oh,
and depending on how the system rolls out, I mean, if I can file my federal income taxes with the IRS system, but the problem is that doesn't is it going to do anything with state taxes? Probably not.
no,
So I'm still going to have to I'm
obviously
still going to
not.
have to do my own state tax return,
True. But
which
you'll
is
save if
weird.
you do the federal.
Yeah, but now I'm going to have to do two different tax returns. I'm going to have to do one through the federal government system, and then I'm going to have to do another one through one of these online services like TurboTax just for the state of North Carolina. Because their system,
That's a very good point, Nick. I didn't think
Amnon,
about
I get
that.
paid to make good
That's
points. I know. I mean,
yeah,
it, that just doesn't
yeah.
seem to make any sense.
Hmm.
So who the heck knows?
Interesting.
Alan is saying TurboTax and others fought tooth and nail to have the Canadian Revenue Agency, the CRA, remove the ability to file via them for 2 or 3 years. They ran it; it worked great, and processing time was something like 6 or 7 days. Yeah, I mean, if they can figure it out, great. I just have no confidence or faith in the IRS, unfortunately.
Give it another 10 years. It's okay.
Well, they'll have those 87,000 new agents to come and throw me in prison for making $100 off of a Venmo transaction for Facebook Marketplace. So that's very, very critically important. How would we send a gazillion dollars to Ukraine if they couldn't get 27 more cents out of me in my federal
I
tax
mean,
returns? Unfreaking believable.
all right, so YouTube is in the news again.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
The price of an individual YouTube premium subscription is increasing by $2 to $13.99 per month in the US for new and current customers. The price increases is live for new subscribers. The price increase is live for new subscribers as seen on youtube.com/premium. Instead of $11.99, YouTube Premium now costs $13.99. Meanwhile, it's $18.99 if you're subscribing from the iOS YouTube app. Meanwhile, so it's $18.99 if you're on the iOS YouTube app.
Yeah,
Toward
they add the 30% Apple tax on, like what we talked about earlier, covering the
Yeah,
credit card processing fee. They're doing the same thing with Apple. Twitter does
interesting.
the same thing too. Twitter Blue is $11 a month to subscribe on iOS. It's $7.99 on a computer because they don't have to pay the 30%.
But then can you use once you subscribe, can you use the iOS to access it?
Yeah, it just depends on how you pay, because if you subscribe to something on iOS, you have to pay for it through Apple's
Yeah,
payment system. And because it's going through their payment system, they charge a 30% fee, meaning the company's losing out
yeah,
on
yeah.
30%. So they either add 30% to it, or you buy it online, like I did with Twitter Blue, bought it through Stripe. It was like $89 or whatever, and it's fine.
And you're using it with you can use it with iOS from then on because you're paying it through.
Yeah, it has no bearing. Apple
Yeah,
doesn't care Apple doesn't care where you pay for it. They just say if you're going to subscribe on phones, you
yeah,
have to use
on the
Apple's thing,
yeah,
which is what they're suing, or what the big
yeah,
lawsuit between them and Epic is over right
right.
now, is over payment processing. But this this goes back to the earlier conversation about Netflix and these services. Here's another one, another $2 a month.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money when you think about all the subscribers.
And they're all going up, every single
Yeah,
one of them. I
yeah.
mean, by the end of the time, you're end up going to spend an extra $15 a month on all of these services. It is more expensive than cable now to have these streaming services. I can get a cable, so I think I can get a basic, because I always get the letters in the mail from Spectrum because they want me to
Yeah.
buy cable television. And I think they offer it 49 or 59 bucks a month for like the basic, like 150 channels or whatever it is. Way cheaper than being subscribed to all these other services. Now the problem is you don't get all the shows,
Right.
but
Still.
still, yeah, the whole thing was cord cut too expensive, and now it's cord cut more expensive. But I guess the difference is you're getting content you want versus the garbage that's all over cable, which is just nothing to ever watch. I mean, you could literally flip through 100 channels and not see a single thing that's interesting besides live sports.
So it says that toward the end of last year, family premium plans saw a big hike to $22.99 a month. That remains the same today. The annual subscription, which was introduced in January 2022, goes to $139.99 in a $20 increase. Compared to paying monthly, you save $27.89. But yeah, they just inch it up and inch it up and inch it up. And before you know it, like you said, we may get to the point where we say, oh, let's go and get it from cable again.
Death by a thousand cuts, slowly boil the lobster. I mean, it's all the same. Well, I mean, I'm a great example of it with Spotify. When I first signed up for Spotify, I was in college and I got whatever the college discount was, so, 6 5 6 bucks a month.
Mhm.
I think Spotify's $11. And
Well,
they've been able to raise that cost, and that's the only that's the only monthly subscription I pay, I
yeah,
think.
that's nice. I
Yeah,
just
that and internet.
I
And
got
Amazon Prime if you consider that, but not really.
last year T-Mobile gave us 1 year free Apple TV,
Yeah.
and Kathy's been using it a lot. So last week I got a notice that, well, it's the year is over, and if you want to keep on, you're going to have to subscribe. And I said, interesting. How much is it? I thought it was $10 or $12, something like that. Yeah, it's $4.99.
Yeah, Apple TV, now, is that subscription through T-Mobile or is that directly through Apple?
You're going to, as far as I know, you go through Apple because I had to go to an Apple site to find out. The weird thing was that if you pay it yearly, it costs more than if you pay it monthly.
Okay, so I believe you're getting a discounted rate because you're looking at T-Mobile. Apple TV Plus is $8 a month.
Okay, so
So
maybe
I have so there's a deal probably because you're a T-Mobile customer that you can get it for cheap, which would make sense. And that would explain also why it's more expensive to buy it outright because that is the deal's likely only for monthly subscriptions. That would make sense
I don't see why they would do that though.
because they
But it's
want they
fine.
want you to they want you to pay monthly.
Yeah.
All these guys love when you pay monthly. It's a lot easier for them to have subscribers from a cash flow business perspective to have that money coming in. I mean, Aaron, you could charge your customers yearly,
I
but it
know.
would make it be a real pain in the ass to deal with your books. You get this
Yeah.
huge influx of cash at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
Now you have to deal with it all year. Nobody wants that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just going to say exactly what you just said. Yeah.
So if through that's not a bad deal if there's stuff that's worth watching on there. $5 when
Yeah.
you
That's
get
okay. I
under
told her.
$10 a month, I think people can kind of justify.
Yeah.
But
But
when
if it's
you're
a
at
10 plus 10 plus 10,
10.99, 11.99, and 13.99, that's a lot of money.
yep.
10 is my sweet spot.
That's 9.99.
Yeah. That when it crosses that threshold, that's where I start um that's where I start looking at things. Like for example, Twitter Blue, 7.99 a month. If it was 9.99 a month or 10.99 a month, I don't think I would have subscribed to it.
Huh? All
That's
right.
that's that's kind of where my line is.
And obviously, for each his own. It all
Yeah,
depends where you're comfortable with and what you're comfortable with.
sure. And
Nick,
it really depends on how bad you want to watch.
are you reading the chat?
Hmm.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, Alan says I would never have cable if I lived down there. You cannot get time shift out of market locals the way we can. Yeah, the thing with that, Alan, is there's nothing local that's being produced realistically besides news, and you can watch that online. All the ABC, NBC, and CBS, all that stuff is national. Um, so yeah, and plus, with ATSC over the air, with the digital sub channels, ATSC 3 or ATSC 1, which is what we're at now. 3 is coming. You got, 40 in Raleigh. How many freaking channels do you guys have up there? Am on 70 channels or something? It's
Well,
ridiculous.
no, they're not in Raleigh.
No, but you can pick them up.
Yeah, yeah.
I have, and some of these are duplicates, so I'll note, but I think I get maybe 30 channels down here. It's nothing crazy.
Because of your area. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Bigger market, bigger availability of channels.
and the quality is good.
No, it's not, which is a problem. Most of these sub channels are 480p, which is
Oh,
very noticeable on a like that 65-inch television we had in specials. Very, very noticeable.
okay. Um, let's see. So talk about fees and all these uh, streaming services with no formal announcement. Netflix removed its 9.99 basic subscription tier for anybody trying to sign up for a new account or resubscribe in the US and UK.
Scumbags.
Now your two options are to pay 550 more per month for the standard plan or otherwise suffer through constant ad interruptions with what's now been dubbed standard with ads.
Which is not free, by the way.
No, it's not. It's 550. No, I'm sorry. It's 550 is more. They don't say how
Addition,
much
yes.
it is. I wonder how much it is.
Let me take a look.
That's interesting. No, you're right. Yeah.
So we have got standard with ads is 6.99 a month. Standard Netflix is freaking $16 a month, and premium Netflix is 19.99.
Jeez. Yep. Yeah, well,
This is the cost of Netflix, at least it can be justified by the fact that they are producing so much and have been producing so much um what's the word I'm
their
looking for?
own stuff.
Yes, exclusive content,
But
their
I
own
thought
in-house
but
projects.
I thought they stopped it and they closed studio or whatever. No, that was
They may have
animation. Animation. Right.
Yeah, they may have closed a studio, but they are
Yeah.
still producing so much content. Turns out, because of unions, production is very expensive. Costs a lot to produce content. Um, and they have to pass that along.
Well,
They don't have Me TV in Canada. That's weird. Hmm.
well, remember that it's a thing that station has to want to carry it.
Yeah, but I'm surprised
Yeah.
with the format of Me TV that it's not available. I mean, that seems like that'd be. It's a very Me TV is incredibly popular. No, Me TV has Me TV Plus subscription service.
No, I didn't know that. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
was reading about it. Um, Me TV Plus. It's in Chicago, and they have regular Me TV, and then they have Me TV Plus.
and that's something that you get a stream, not antenna.
It's a stream.
Yeah.
It's literally two different Me TV channels.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, Me TV is this is what I most of the time what I watch is Me TV and Antenna TV. Um,
Yeah, very very
whatever.
popular.
Yeah. Hmm. All right. So the administration has launched its long-awaited Internet of Things cybersecurity labeling program that aims to protect Americans against the myriad of security risk associated with internet connected devices. Remember, we talked about it a few months ago, or maybe last year. The program, officially named the U.S. Cyber Trust Mark, aims to help Americans ensure they are buying internet connected devices that include strong cybersecurity protections against cyber attacks. The Internet of Things, a term encompassing everything from fitness trackers and routers to baby monitors and smart refrigerators, has long been considered a weak cybersecurity link. Many devices ship with easy to guess default passwords and offer a lack of security regular updates, putting consumers at risk of being hacked. So, yeah, they can hack your thermostat and change the temperature. They can hack your refrigerator and thaw all your food. I mean, things like that. So now there's going to be a label, just like the what do you call it? The Energy Star, how much electricity it's using, and blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
There's going to be a cybersecurity label on it. Tells you how good it is, how good is the security, what, and then blah 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 blah.
Oh,
This
yeah, I'm
I
jazzed. That's gonna be great. Can't wait to have the federal government who knows nothing about IT or security and so slow to adapt, making those
well, I don't know
determinations.
that
That's
they are going to be the one policing it.
well, who the hell's gonna
I
be doing it?
think
You
the
said the
government,
administration is
yeah,
launching.
they're launching it, but I think when we were talking about it, it was the market. They I mean, who's uh policing the food labels?
The EPA
So if
or the
something,
or the excuse me, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration.
do they actually police it, or they just
Well, yeah, they're the ones that
the
do recalls and stuff all the time. So those are all FDA. Those are all FDA recalls.
okay? So maybe it will be the government.
I hope so. I mean, if not, then what? If nobody's enforcing it, then it's even more. Then it's even more useless.
Yeah, I was thinking that the industry will have their own, but no. Okay. Hmm. And here is something else that people need to know about. Microsoft is expanding its suite of free security tools for customers, following criticism that it was charging clients to protect themselves against Microsoft's mistakes. The move followed a high-level hack that allowed allegedly Chinese spies to steal emails from senior U.S. officials, and complaints from security specialists and lawmakers against paying for tools in a blog post posted last Wednesday. Microsoft said the advanced features in Microsoft Auditing Suite, which it called Microsoft Purview, View,
Like a
would
cat
be, huh?
purr view, like a cat.
Like
PUR.
like a cat purring, yeah,
Interesting.
would be available to all customers over the coming months. Although not enough to prevent hacks on their own, digital auditing tools are critical for helping organizations figure out whether intruders are in their networks, how they got in, and how to get them out. So it's not going to be for the average user that doesn't do anything but running their McAfee, but it's going to be great for somebody who is more techie and knows how to use these things. And just like now, people help family members in cleaning viruses and things like that, even though you have a program, sometimes something happens. So people will be able to help people with that. But they were charging for these, so now it's going to be free. I never had my hands on this, but we'll have to wait and see what it does. Purview. And that's it for today, as far as news here. Yeah. Oh, there's something else about Amazon. Amazon has announced that its palm scanning payment technology called Amazon One will roll out to all 500 plus Whole Foods locations by the end of 2023. Amazon first introduced the contactless Amazon One payment system in 2020, but its expansion by the end of 2023 will be its largest to date. It works by the user scanning their palm over a reader. In other words, it's another form of contactless biometric authentication, like Apple's Face ID. But instead of reading your face, Amazon One reads the lines and ridges of your palms and the unique vein pattern beneath it. And it also tells you how long you're going to live and how, your future and everything while you do that. Um,
Mark of the beast.
yeah. This reading of deeper subcontinuous subcontinuous features mean that someone can't just photograph your palm and start loading up your costly cheese at Whole Foods at your expense. Your palm signature is associated with your Amazon Prime account or just a credit card. And it means you don't even need to bring your phone or wallet with you. Currently, Amazon One is available at 200 Whole Foods in the United States, as well as 200 locations at other retail outlets. Amazon rollout will bring the total Amazon One payment location to over 700 by year's end. And locations that use it right now include Coors Field in Colorado and select Panera Bread's restaurant. Now, what's going to happen is Amazon is going to have your palm um, information, and others are going to have your face information, and other ones are going to have your fingerprint, and then when they all get breached, they can start building a whole new you in a lab. Or maybe they'll just sell the information to each other for that purpose. I don't know. Mm. All right. Well, it's that day, Nick. I mean, it's that time, Nick.
Is that day and time?
It's that day and time. Yep. 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 Anything else you wanted to bring up? Anything happening in politics that we should talk about? Let people know.
Way too much.
Way too much. All right. All right. Well, if you want to hear about politics in North Carolina and around the country, you can always tune to Nick's program. And I'll mention it in the closing. All right, man.
Appreciate it as always. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, sir. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. And change same passwords where you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Now, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM with his daily political and commentary show. You can tell your Echo device to play 980 The Wave, or you can go afterwards to the recordings at nickcraig.com. Also, Tuesday, 7 p.m., Nick and Brian do the Infection podcast on Twitch. That's about gaming news and political commentary. So Tuesday, 7 p.m., twitch.tv/infection podcast. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back together next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.